Greetings all, BWS2K here again with another entry in the Mythicals series, which we've been working on. Last time, which was the first time, our heroes kind of got together, fought carnage. It was lovely, and there were some amazing moments, which I still remember fondly, and they were good times. And we're going to pick up pretty much where we left off, although, with Marvel Heroic, the pacing is kind of like a comic, so, we're skipping ahead maybe a few hours. Actually, it's going to be nighttime. So if you figure the other stuff that we did was during the day, this is that evening after that whole situation has been resolved. But in the opening screen, this issue would be called Flying Lessons. And just some notes as a reminder, we're not using milestones. We're ignoring that. I might do something fun in that slot in the future. Maybe do like relationships or something. Pull something out of Cortex Prime that fits there, so it's not just wasted space. Or maybe I'll just cut down the cut down the images and make it a little bit easier. I don't know. I do have my water. I'm sipping at that. Hopefully, we won't have too many coughing fits like we did last time. But then I also have the note that I'm using affiliation trackers, and I had mentioned this last time about how I think in the spirit of the way that it's written in the book, if you have a team like this, and let's say Cyclops uses team, let's say he goes first in the order, right? So Cyclops uses a team affiliation. It feels to me like when he says that, what he ought to be doing, and this would track for Cyclops, is organizing the team, doing something team oriented. He's not just going, I'm going to use my biggest affiliation die. He's like, okay, Carol, you do this. Nat and Ben, you do this. And Peter, you're with me. Like, he's giving team instruction that is including the rest of the team. And there is, and I call it a soft lock. There is a soft lock on everyone who is participating. So in that instance, if on their turn, those characters are following through with those instructions from Scott, they would be using their team affiliation. There's a lot of flexibility, and it's not a set in stone thing because of the pacing. Again, by the time you get to, for instance, Ben's turn, the situation may have changed such that he is able to do something else entirely. Maybe he's doing using Buddy because he's off with was it Natasha that I just paired him with? I don't remember what I just said, or it may just be that by the time it gets to him, solo makes more sense. So it flexes in that way, but I think the spirit of what's written with an affiliation die is that you're not just picking the largest die, you're picking a die that is sort of like it is accomplishing and involving all of the things that you would think an affiliation die does. Otherwise, there's no point in Scott using it as a team die because he doesn't have a team helping him out. Other than, like I said, if the situation changes by the time it gets to their turns. Okay, that was a lot of talking just to explain. I'm going to try. I've tried it before in the past in my live games, and it's mixed success, but it's there, so we'll give it a shot. Okay, let's swap over to our scene here. This is actually, we're going to do a transition scene, which I don't typically do in my solo games, but it's kind of fun to see the recovery mechanics because we did pick up some stress last time. Doompool's still at 3d10. We've got two distinctions here, so we're picking up a little bit later. The last thing that happened is Black Widow got a communique on her wrist communicator or whatever. I'm going with wrist communicator because her wrists are where she has the Widow's sting, right? And she said, we've got another mission. It was almost like usurping Carol and Scott in terms of leadership for the team. And I figure we've got another mission, but in classic Black Widow fashion, she doesn't necessarily reveal what that mission is right away. So they swing by S.H.I.E.L.D. headquarters and they pick up a mini carrier. And this is actually mini carrier 13, which was actually, talking of usurping leadership, assigned to Miss Marvel, assigned to Carol for Operation Lightning Storm, I think it was called. In her solo comic, which I really enjoyed reading. I didn't finish it, but it was around the time of the what was it called? Initiative? 50 States Initiative? Like post-Civil War / during Civil War. That's when she had her own mini carrier and she had her own team there. So this is that mini carrier, but it kind of more and more is ostensibly under Black Widow's command. And so it's evening, and I figure if you're on a team with Benjamin Grimm, and you're looking for downtime, then you're obviously playing poker because that's just his thing. That's what he does. The game nights, I love it. Every scene I've ever read of him like hosting and it's usually like you get randos that aren't necessarily in the story proper, like guest cameos of other people. So I think that's probably what's happening. That's how they're sort of like decompressing, is picking up the new mini carrier, which will be their sort of base of operations, and then settling in and getting to do some team building via light gambling. Probably not for real money, probably more for like bragging rights and stuff. But okay, so that's where they are. So some people did not have any stress, but some people did. So I just kind of summarized how this will work with recovery with recovery rolls. Excuse me. I copied this page directly. I duplicated this page directly from the Carnage scene. So everybody's stress is where it ought to be. So we're first going to step back all the stress by 1 because we're beginning a transition scene. So Natasha's goes to D4, and if it goes to D4, it goes away. So Natasha is fully recovered. Colossus doesn't have any stress. Cyclops doesn't have any stress. He does have a stunt die, and I play fast and loose with the rules. He has some plot points left over. It is technically a new scene, so technically the stunt die should go away. I don't know. I like stunt die. I hardly get to use them. I guess we'll pull it off. We'll get a new stunt die soon. With what's coming up next, I think we'll get some stunt dice. Why is this not letting me? There we go. Carol did have some stress. She had some mental stress from her whiff on Carnage. I don't know why it's not letting me. Oh, look at that. It only scrolls on him over the page. Interesting. All right, so her steps back, and then I think Ben also had some. So it's really only those two. Oops. It's really only those two who are going to be making recovery actions. But while they can make recovery actions, and it would be versus the Doom Pool, which is 3d10, which is kind of hefty, you can also give a plot point to another hero to borrow their trait, or the other heroes can make rolls to create assets and give those assets to the people who are making the recovery rolls. Psych Expert, these are both mental stress, right? Yeah, mental and mental. Really? Is Colossus the only one who has Psych Expert? Oh. Okay, well both of them have Psych Expert. That's okay. They can use it in their role. Colossus has a plot point. Carol has no plot points. Ben has 3 plot points. So let's do this. Let's have Colossus. I'm not gonna worry about Black Widow, but let's have Colossus roll against the Doom Pool to create an asset. And maybe his asset is, maybe it's like that pep talk, like in sort of his stereotypical Russian accent. It's okay, Carol. We'll be a team. Leaders emerge and leaders are born and blah, blah, like a whole little leadership team. I know teams. I've been on teams all my life, blah, 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 right? So some kind of pep talk like that. And we'll throw together a pool for him, and we'll see if he can get a good asset out of it. So this would be Buddy, because he's talking with Carol. And we're going to go with Ironclad Loyalty, D8. I don't think any of his powers so much go in. Do we want to include Godlike Strength for like a handshake? No, that feels a bit too reachy. And then none of the SFX really apply. But Psych Expert is D8. And anything else we want to do? He has a plot point. But we might want to save the plot point to include all 3 dice, because we're going up against D10s here. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, that is not ideal. That is not ideal at all. And almost certainly is going to be a whiff. So is it worth spending a plot point on it? No, let's leave it. Maybe his pep talk doesn't work. We'll see. So this will be oops. Can't add it, but stop it. Colossus is total. We're just gonna go with 6 D8 effect. So if I spend a plot point, right, I can make it 9 with a D4 effect, and the D4 effect, if I succeeded, would step Miss Marvel's stress down by 1. But I don't think a 9 is going to be much more likely to happen than 6. So now we'll roll Doom Pool, which is just 3d10s. Yeah, yeah, very, very not. So that is not a success, and we'll call it 16 d10. Colossus's speech doesn't help, and I think comic wise, it's probably like he gives the speech, she takes it in the spirit in which it's given, but she's not really convinced, and it doesn't help any. She's still kind of stressed about it, right? So that's Colossus, but I think maybe it makes sense to roll now for Miss Marvel, kind of a little bit out of order, and she doesn't have any plot points. So, and I have always, and I mentioned this last time, I use plot points as soon as you get them. So let's do something fun. Again, it's not going to be like super amazing, but let's do Buddy, and I'm going to use Struggling Identity as a D4, and I'm going to give her a plot point for that, but then I'm going to take it away. I'm going to use it to spend to borrow. I'm going to give it to Colossus, actually, to work it. And she's going to borrow his Psych Expert die. And oh, she still has Subsonic Flight. Well, we'll fix that on the next screen, but she has that back. That's back. So she's got DA from that. Anything from here? Durability, stamina. Do we think stamina counts for mental stress? You use it for recovery roll. Sure. We'll count it. Energy absorption, none of those things matter. Combat expert, covert expert, vehicles, cosmic, and then she has her own psych die. Oops. I'm not putting one in front. Probably should, so I don't whiff my roll again. Yeah. And that's what we do. Oh my goodness. All right, well, we are going to buy that and give her a plot point. We're going to add another 6 to the D. She has a plot point, but things just got hairier. But decent dice. Total of 14 with D8 effect. Which might work. Doom pool 3d10 plus 1d6. Yeah. All right, cool. Oh, and there's an opportunity, but we only have one plot point. Carol, do we want to use it? Could we do? We could do like a leadership stunt. Yeah. Oh, but they go away at the end of the scene, right? No. Yeah. No, maybe we'll use it because we can use it as a stunt for thing. Yeah, let's do that. That'll be fun. Let's spend the plot point. Let's give her a stunt die. And then she can give the pep speech to Ben and organize the poker game. And that will be inspiring. And she's trying to take back that leadership. I love it. Drama. Okay, so hang on. Let's see. Total. Doom pool. Got 11. That is not. There we go. With the D10 effect. Which, in this case, the effect die, I don't think the effect die affects Carol's effect die, but either way, it steps her D8 effect. She succeeded, so her D8 effect is going to apply, and if it equals or is less, I believe that's the rule, then it goes away. So if she had gotten a D4 effect or D6 effect, wait, did she just have D8? I don't know. It's still early in the morning. Suffice to say, she's recovered. So Colossus's speech at first doesn't really sink in, but I think she realizes that he's coming to her in a I'll use the word subordinate role. He's treating her as leader, and he's a big guy, not just physically, but like he's a heavy hitter. Also, I guess not just physically. He has a big presence, right? So him coming to her out of concern and sort of admonishing her as don't worry, Carol, it's okay, leaders take time, and that sort of thing. Maybe she's realizing that even though his words per se aren't having the effect, the fact that somebody's coming to her, and probably the fact that they're on a helicarrier that she's a little more comfortable in, actually does kind of help. She has that moment. She has that calming breath, right? But then we're gonna have her. maybe she turns around and she's like talking to Thing and says something like, "Well, Ben, we've got it's a pretty big helicarrier, but I'm pretty sure there's a table and some chairs around here somewhere. If you've got a deck of cards," and of course he's like, "Always carry them with me," and reaches into his belt, probably pulls out some sort of like Mr. Fantastic special durable cards that survive combat in the sewers and stuff like that. And so he's like ready to go, and he's got his little visor cap, and he pulls that out, and they, in the next few minutes pull together the chairs and they get together a game of poker or whatever. Maybe it's kind of like Scott is sitting there with his arms crossed, but appreciating the moment for what it is. And as a leader of teams, or as a leader of a team anyway, he kind of gets it. It's the team building thing. So Carol makes the call for poker night before me. Here's the drama. Maybe she says to Natasha, "I know you said that we had a mission, but there's something more important we have to do first. Ben, break out the cards." Yeah. I like that. I love this. And normally I hate interpersonal drama. It's just not my vibe, but I'm loving this. So that's what we're going to do for Thing's roll. He's going to start set up the poker table. So his recovery roll will be against the Doom Pool. And I think it makes sense to go with, so it's Carol that's telling him that, and she has a stunt die, and I was going to use it, but then I can't. She's not actually rolling. That's okay. We'll keep it. We'll use it next scene. We'll break all the rules. It's fine. Because I really like it. Like doing that. So recovery roll for Thing. It does feel like it's going to be Buddy, because while it is a team thing that's being done, it's Carol that's directly inspiring. And he'll spend a plot point and borrow her psych die. Actually, he'll give her a plot point. Dang, I watch these things afterwards and I'm always like, oh man, I forgot all the rules. But that's okay. That's what's so great. Honestly, sidebar, that's what's so great about Marvel Heroic and Cortex in general, is you can literally forget rules and still have a good time if you're having a good time. All right, so 1d8 from that. I'm a monster. What a revolt in development. It doesn't really need plot points, but maybe we take advantage of the calm Summer's Eve distinction. It's calm. Everything is calm. I hope it stays that way. ... And enhanced stamina. Well, we used stamina before, so we'll use stamina here. I guess in my mind, I'm thinking stamina also includes like willpower and determination and perseverance, that sort of side of things. And area attack, collateral damage, haymaker. Yeah, none of that matters. And then he also has psych expert. Yep. Hey, not bad. He did roll an opportunity. So let's copy. Paste. And then Doom Pool. Step up. D6. And his total. So his total is, yeah, he can keep an extra B. That's fine. Ben's total is, what do we want to do? 11? No, we just got a plot point. Let's add in the 3 too. Let's do 14 D8 effect. Plot point off. And then the Doom Pool is now 3d10, 1d8. Ooh. Well, absolutely. Do we want to? Already stepped down. Maybe it doesn't work. Maybe we'll do a total of 15 D8 effect. And we'll keep Ben's stress where it is. It's stepped down already because of the scene. So maybe just adding drama on drama on drama. He's going through the motions, but really all he's thinking about is he misses Susie and Johnny and Reed, and for that matter, probably Bruce, Banner, and all of his normal. This is not his normal gaming crowd, right? So he's smiling, he's being good natured about it, but he is still sort of and this is emotional stress. So this is still kind of like, he's a little bit off. He's a little bit what's the word? Not nostalgic, but he's missing his friends. He's not sure about this group, and yeah. Gosh dang, that's great. All right, so she still has that stunt die. Let's remember that, but not this plot point. Actually, we're going to move to another screen, so it won't really matter. So let's remember Ben's stress is just at a D6. And then we got to make sure that Carol gets her stunt die. Yeah, this is going to be wonky. Natasha didn't do anything. That's okay. I feel like that fits. She's just been like kind of quiet and joining the table. All right, so we'll have to check here when we go to the next screen. But to narrate us into the next screen, so they're playing their game. They're sitting around the table sort of in the front area of the mini carrier. And there's kind of that like breaking the ice tension. These guys know of each other, but they don't all know each other and have sometimes maybe in the past fought each other. And so there's that, icebreaker moment, right? They're kind of settling in, trying to get this team dynamic going. It's a little bit uncomfortable. They're sort of in a holding pattern, sort of hovering out over the East River. And it's been a long day, and there's kind of, it's been a long day. This is kind of the decompression time, and they're looking to get to bed soon. And all of a sudden, the entire helicarrier, mini helicarrier, just gets rocked, just lobs over to one side, right? And there's this sense of like static electricity. The hairs on the back of your neck stand up, and on your arm, like you can sense that for a brief second, and then an electrical pulse just travels through the entire helicarrier. And it's hardened against things like that, but this is so powerful that it does cause, the engines kind of whine, and it kind of wobbles before it's able to right itself. And they're okay inside, but it's like a really bad static shock when you've been walking across a carpet and you touch a doorknob or something like that. So they all feel it, and the table, I think, topples, and the cards and the poker chips kind of go flying, and it's like, oh, here we go again. No moments rest, right? And we'll flip over to the next scene, but let's try to remember. So Colossus has 2 plot points. We're just gonna have to flip back and forth, and I hate doing that, but that's just the easiest way to do it. So Colossus actually has 2 plot points. Copy, paste, and Carol has, I could do like this, I think. Copy like that. Carol has, so if we delete that, just paste. Cool. Scott has 2. Does he have 2 over here? Doesn't. So let's copy, paste. Nat didn't do anything. Carol we took care of, and then Ben has 2, and he still has D6 stress. I put him over here. Scroll so much. Although I guess it doesn't. He does have 2, and also he has D6 emotional stress. Okay. And Nat doesn't have anything, though. Well, yeah, let's be faithful. She doesn't have anything. Why did she not have anything in the last one? Did she not? No, she's up all her plot points. I guess I wasn't paying attention. But if we're going to follow right from the previous one, let's follow right from the previous one. Say she doesn't have any. Okay, so we adjusted stress. That was my reminder to myself. So we've got two enemies here. Oh, and the Doom Pool has a D8. We've got 2 enemies here. The electricity is coming from this character, Zzzax, or Zzzax. Not really sure how to pronounce it, but he is just kind of this electrical elemental being who gets kind of used in funky ways depending on what the writers want. But he just impacted the carrier and is sort of reforming in front of the heroes who are in the front room there. And as he's doing that, sort of, the electricity's arcing out of all of the walls and up out of the floor and everything, and it's sort of coalescing into this humanoid form who's just kind of like oversized, larger than Colossus even, right? And sort of taking up huge space right there in the mini helicarrier. And while that's happening, behind them, smashing through the glass, is the front glass window is Griffin, who is this sort of like monstrous looking guy who I guess I don't know the character very well, but I guess sometimes is more bestial than others, depending on like his stress situation. So he kind of crashes and just sort of roars, and Zzzax also kind of gives his, I guess he does speak sometimes, so he probably isn't there yet. It kind of takes time. He has to like absorb people's brain energy or something like that. So it's mostly just kind of a monster fight here. They're attacking the helicarrier. So that's kind of where we pick up. And looking at the team, given that we just kind of recovered stress, Ben's game was ruined. Carol, I think you got to act first because you got to take leadership back. Yeah, that feels right. Right. And she's got this stunt die. So I think we're going to use the stunt die. I think what she's going to do, she's going to take a different tact. She's going to make a leadership move. She's going to make an asset, and she's going to share it with the table. Now, I believe it's supposed to be you spend a plot point if you want to make it available to other people. And typically what I rule is if you make it for, like if Carol makes an asset, but she makes it for Cyclops, she doesn't have to spend a plot point because she doesn't get to use it. It's only for one person. If it's for more than one person, you have to spend a plot point. And so I think that's what I'm going to do here is probably spend her plot point to make the asset available to the table, like a leadership asset. So what is she going to say? They're not the Avengers. Mythicals. Mythicals move. Is that the tagline? I think it is. So she's, the table just spills over. She like fires up, her energy, her own energy sort of crackles more of the RNG, and she is in her costume, and she's like, okay, Mythicals, move. And that kind of like hopefully inspires some people. So she's going to actually make an asset for the table, which we'll see if it works. I don't really plan these things out, and I think it shows, but that's okay because I'm having fun. So that's actually going to be a team thing. So we're going to put her on the team affiliation. D10, and let's go take charge attitude at D8, and energy blast, subsonic flight, superhuman durability. I think I'm gonna allow the energy blast. She's not shooting, but I did describe her as sort of crackling up, right, suiting up in a sense, and I think that adds to the moment. So I'm actually going to include that. The energy absorption, none of those things matter. Combat expert, and this is going to be psych expert. And I'm also going to include her stunt die. Because I want this to be a really rad moment for her. Nope, it's a 10-sided die. There we go, Carol. Oh, goodness. All right. 2 opportunities. So she's going to get 2 plot points out of that. And the Doom pool just got a whole lot worse. So let's have the D8 move down, and we're just going to bump it up twice. Okay, well, Carol's total. I think we got to spend... need to do it, but I think we have to spend a plot point to keep all 3 to even have a chance, right? Because a 10, if we just have the 6 and the 4, yeah, we got to add all of them. So the 7 and the 6, that's 13 plus 4 is 17. 17. So 17. It's only a D4 effect, but maybe it gets stepped up. Make a move asset. And then the Doom pool is 3d10 plus 1d12. Okay. What are those numbers? 8 and 7. So that's 15. Okay. With the D10 effect. So Carol succeeds. It doesn't step up or anything like that, but it's a D4. And I feel like a D4 asset becomes D6 in Marvel Heroic. I'm not going to take the time to look it up. I'm just going to make that ruling. Feel fairly confident. I know in Cortex Prime, that's how it would be. I'm fairly certain that's how it is here. D4s still get used for things, for stress and stuff, but when it comes to an asset, I don't think you can have a D4 asset. I think it has to be a D6. So everybody has a D6 asset now. So we're just going to copy this, and we're going to, what do we want to do? Paste it like right in the middle. She spent a plot point? No, she hasn't spent a point. So now she's going to spend a plot point to share the asset with the table. So now everyone has this D6 Mythicals move asset. We'd name it, but I don't want to take the time to type stuff out. So that's Carol's turn. And probably, do we want to let the good guys go first? Who's going to respond first? They were just kind of like ambushed. Who didn't go? You know what? Black Widow hasn't done anything yet. Let's let Black Widow do it. And she kind of saved the day. Or not saved the day, but she like had a cool move last time. So I think we'll have her. She'll try to respect the team. And I think she's going to go with, she's just going to blast. She's going to do her electric blast at Griffin. I think they all saw Zzzax first, but her sort of reflexes and awareness kind of like does a sort of a forward tumble up into a position facing Griffin. Yeah, let's do it that way. And maybe she even says, I've got Griffin, right? Taking part of that team, the team spirit. I'll throw in the D6 before we forget the asset. Natural leader, Russian super spy, dangerous liaisons. Natural leader. Let's take natural leader as a D4 and get her that plot point back because she is taking orders, not giving them. And this is going to be reflexes and electric blast. 8. Focus and unity. Oh, her deep programming SFX, which if it comes into play again, we'll try to take more advantage of. But it's spend or earn a plot point to step up emotional stress inflicted by intelligence agencies and their directors. And then for her other limit, when you take emotional trauma, shut down any red room conditioning power and gain a plot point. So we could have done something cool with that last time, but I got carried away, and that's okay. And this is going to be acrobatics master. When you have an acrobatics master like Spider-Man, I kind of just always assume that he's like flipping and dodging and rolling, and I just described her as like doing this like forward roll and then coming up facing the opposite direction. So this will be to inflict physical stress on Griffin. Hey, once again, Black Widow with the clutch. Okay, so she's got an opportunity, which means she's going to get a plot point, and we will step up and let's do it. Live life dangerously, I say. So she's got 2 plot points now, and I think we'll give her a boss moment. Oh, BW, hey, that's me. BW's total. We could go big on this. We could go 17. We could even spend plot points to go even bigger. Let's spend a plot point to go 23. Which leaves what, a D6 stress? It'd be the 10. I can do the D8 from the 4, right? So I can do, if I have the 10 and the 7 and the 6, and I'll use this as my effect die. So D8 effect for physical stress on. Yeah, that's good. Step up or add D6 to the Doom pool to step up, double any asset, stress, or complication used against Griffin to calm or control him. Yep, that is the opposite of what we're doing, so that doesn't apply. So his reaction roll here is he's solo, I mean, there is a sense in which you could make an argument that he's Buddy, but he is on opposite sides of the heroes as Zzzax, and I don't think they're really coordinating. Either of them are really coordinating. I say that. Now I have a thought. What if Zzzax is controlling him? Maybe he's got like a little bit of electricity crackling across his skin and his wings. And Zzzax has this personality mimic thing where after influencing or inflicting stress on a living target with action, which we can just assume has already happened, you replace barely sentient with the target's distinction. And so maybe he has animal instincts. Ah, dude, that's rad. Aerial, but we need to go smaller. Let's do animal instincts. Okay, might be a little small. Oops. That's okay. I'm just gonna leave it there. We'll know. Yeah, I like that. And then unless added by personality mimic SFX, that's his specialty. So I guess he gets crime expert as well. I don't think that matters, but yeah, let's do that. Oh, that's cool. I wasn't even thinking about that, but that makes some kind of cool sense. Like somebody who's kind of manipulated or manipulatable by somebody who kind of feeds off that. Oh, I like that. Cool. I probably could have come up with a cooler name for this session if they were if they were both like, oh, and the helicarriers from Operation Lightning Storm. Oh my goodness, there's all kinds of connections. It's great, but we're taking too much time. Go, BW, go. Stay focused. Griffin is solo. Although if we're doing no. We're doing the mind control thing, then we should be D4. That'll be hilarious. That'll be great. Love it. Animal instincts, persistent and savage, so probably savage. And then enhanced strength. And crime doesn't really apply. But I think what I'll do is I'll throw a D12 in here. And this is a reaction roll to Widow. Wow. Still whiffs it. Maybe because she's got the electric sting, the electric blast. But it is an opportunity, so I think Widow is going to spend her other plot point, and she's going to get a stunt die. So she doesn't have any plot points, but she has a stunt die. And then Griffin's total is 11 for the D4. So takes was her effect die, D8, and it was a 23, so it's going to step up twice to a D10 to a D12. Yeah. Oh wow, that's amazing. So I think what happens is because Zzzax has kind of imbued Griffin, and it's not so much like it's not a real thing that's happening. It's just like for effect and for flair. But the fact that it's there and then Black Widow uses electric stings sort of disrupts that mind control a bit and also like feeds on it. And so it's just like an extra, it's ultra, what's the Pokemon thing? It's very successful or whatever. It definitely just like zaps him and Griffin just roars. Roar! Maybe, does he fall out of the window? Maybe he just falls out of the window. He can fly, so he can be back. But yeah, let's do that. He just absolutely like reels, steps back, and then topples back out the window that he just came in. Yep. Natasha's gonna lead this team whether they like it or not. Okay, so that's Natasha. Let's have Zzzax go next. And he is going to, does he have area attack? He doesn't have area attack. It feels like he should. But I guess he's more just like breaks things. Oh, but he does have electrical blast or electric blast. But he is definitely solo now. Who's he going to target? Colossus, who's made of metal. That'd be cool. I think he's just going to tangibility. I should read these things before I set these up. I think, you know what? I think he's just going to lunge forward, and let's see. Natasha just hit him. In my mind, I'm thinking, yeah, you know what? Scott and Cyclops were probably sitting next to each other. They were probably sitting opposite those guys. In the theater of my mind, we'll go with Colossus because that'll be exciting. So he's going to attack Colossus first. Colossus is the biggest one there. Well, Thing is probably big, but maybe Colossus just powered up and caught his attention. And plus he's metal, right? Or organic metal, organic steel. So he is now solo. Zzzax is solo. And maybe it's that animal instincts kicking in. He's not really thinking clearly, though I'm not, again, sure that he's totally thinking clearly anyway. Is it electrical blast? I don't think so. I think he's just going to go for like an attack, like a physical, like just punch. Which, as I say, it could be interesting against the organic steel. Now, the energy absorption doesn't matter. The personality mimic is there. But of course, if he inflicts physical stress, or does it just say stress? It just says stress on Colossus. If this works, then he gets some of Colossus's brains, for lack of a better term, which could be very interesting themselves. Okay, so that's that, and then Colossus doesn't have any stress, so that is not a lot of dice. So let's throw in the other d12. These were in order. Okay, kind of worked for him. He rolled an opportunity. I think Colossus is going to Colossus to do it. I'm just thinking buying that opportunity and do another stunt die. It would make sense, but I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. Yes, I'm going to do it. What would the stunt be, though? Maybe the stunt is like, well, I don't have to name it right now. It's just a cool thing. But I guess in my mind, I'm thinking like organic steel, like underlining organic. Like it doesn't work the way that Zzzax is thinking. He's not metal. He's organic steel. Okay, but so Zzzax's total is 19, which is pretty good with a D8 for physical stress on Colossus. And then Colossus is going to roll. He's acting as part of the team as well, because he's going to use that asset from Carol. So he's got 1d10 for the team. And then 1d6 for the asset. And then Ironclad, Loyalty, Quick to Anger. Oh, let's do Quick to Anger. Yeah, 1d8 for that. And let's throw the stunt die in there. And he's going to say something. He's got to say something. It's a punch coming from an electrical being. He's going to say something like, I can't help but feel that maybe he has maybe he's already been hanging out with Ben for too long, but maybe he says some quip like, come here, let me show you a conductive punch. Boom. And he like tries to roll with the punch, and then maybe he'll counterpunch with one of his own. That's a thing we can do, right? Sure. And this is definitely going to be durability. I'd like durability. And area attack, invulnerable. You can't use invulnerable. Magnetic or vibranium attack, or while swimming, change any organic. Yeah, we're not going to do that. And then combat expert. So this is his reaction roll. Yeah. All right, so he's got to react against a 19, and we can do that easily. So we're gonna, but he's only got one plot point. So does it make more sense to I don't think we're gonna get a counterattack in there, but that's okay. So we'll spend the plot point that we have, and we will make his total 7 plus a 7 is 14, and an 8 is 22. With a D8 effect. So that doesn't work on Colossus. So when Zzzax goes to punch him, I think, he says his line, the conductive punch, but in that brief moment, it's like Zzzax's fist kind of like fizzles, or like kind of like not bounces, but you know what I mean, like dissipates when it hits Colossus's organic steel body. Yeah, I like that. And he still has a stunt die. He doesn't have any plot points, but he still has a stunt die. But this is the bad guy's turn. So That was Zzzax. So now Griffin has to go. He's got that stress. He's falling high above the East River. Um, Probably he's gonna just kind of like collect himself, and come back, uh, sort of fly. Maybe. Oh, ooh, that. Maybe he attacks the helicarrier itself, like an antenna array or something like that, and we can just move one of his dice to the doom pool. Maybe he moves his. I'm totally bending the rules here, but maybe he can move his stress die to the doom pool. Oh, that would be like he kind of essentially takes himself out to like attack the helicarrier and increase the doom pool. Oh, I like that. Yep, we're doing that. So he's going to be taken out, but I'm going to put a D12. So the way it works, like you can do support actions, like he could lend a die to Zzzax for his turn. And you can also, I think it's called Grandstand, where you essentially take your die, again, like take the whatever die you're using, and you can use it, put it directly in the doom pool to represent the fact that you are increasing the ambient danger of the situation. And in this case, and actually when you use your stress, you step it up. So okay, let's be clear about what's happening here. We are doing two things at once and probably breaking a rule, but we are adding one of our dice or putting one of our dice into the doom pool for our turn. Okay. The die that we're doing that with is our stress die, which is a D12. When we use stress, it steps up after we're done. So he is putting a D12 here, and then he is being taken out after his action. So he is gone, but now the helicarrier has just been hit with a massive attack against, like, yeah, let's go with, like, what is the picture? Is there like a satellite dish or like antennas? There's got to be some. Oh yeah, look at that whole thing up there. So he like falls, right? He falls out of this, and then he just like flies back, and he just like bypasses them completely and goes straight for this and just like zap, total cartoon moment, and fries it. But the ambient electrical energy that's in him / the physical damage he's doing, sort of physically crashing into this array, basically damages the helicarrier and causes it to lurch again, and then he just kind of falls down into the East River. Maybe we'll find him someday. He'll come back. Maybe he gets a Carnage symbiote someday. That'd be cool. Anyway, so that's his turn. That's what he's going to do, and then he's taken out. And then I think obviously Colossus needs to go next because Colossus was just punched by Zzzax, and so we need to have the counterattack or have that resolve. Wait, no, did he? He didn't go yet, right? No, that was just his. Okay, so and we're still moving. We're still mythical moving, so we're going to use the team die. We're going to use quick to anger as a D8 again. So this isn't a reaction roll, right? Correct? Yeah. Griff's total, Zzzax total, and then that was Colossus's total. Oh, I haven't. Yeah. And now it's Colossus's turn. Okay. For some reason, I wasn't reading the final line there. So D8 for quick to anger. Now we're going to do godlike strength. Right as he's saying conductive punch. Harry attack invulnerable, take the hit, don't care about any of that. But we are going to add in the D6 asset and combat expert. And I think the stunt die as well. Doesn't have a plot point. That's okay. No, maybe we'll use quick to anger as a default. So we can get a plot. Maybe this works against him. I don't know. We'll find out. All right. 16 with a D12. That is not bad. That's physical stress to Zzzax. Yeah, I like that. And we'll take another plot point. Doom Pool will buy that opportunity. Now the whole place is just pitched and rolling, and electricity's crackling everywhere. But Colossus has just tried to land a punch on Zzzax, who is now solo. And maybe Volatile. We'll put it as a D4 because we don't really know how he works. And by we, I mean I. Don't really know. I and also maybe the team, but mostly BW doesn't know. And electrical body, so durability, D10. Energy absorption, no. Personality mimic, no. And none of the rest of that stuff works. And crime doesn't work. So we are going to... We will add one of the D12s that we just put in. Doesn't look like it's going to help. So his total, the best he can do without spending Doom dice, is a 13 with a D10. So that is not enough. So Zzzax is going to take D12 physical stress. So he's not quite gone. But Colossus lands this punch, and I think what we'll do is we'll do that cool thing with the D12s in the Doom pool, and we'll have Colossus, you know, have a conductive punch, and it just scatters Zzzax all over the helicarrier, and the electricity dissipates and does all that stuff. And now I'm going to spend these 2 Doom dice, and while the attack works, and both of the opponents have been taken out, now they find themselves in a situation where high above the East River is not working out for them because the entire helicarrier is now plummeting out of control into the East River at a rapid pace. And things are intense, and poker chips are flying everywhere, and Ben still has his green visor on that he wears for poker night. And they are the water below is rapidly approaching. And I think that's where we end the scene. So we can do that with the Doom pool. We can add 2d12, do that, or spend 2d12. Awesome, good times. So nobody took any stress. Ben still has some stress. Bad guys easily beat up, and yet sometimes it's important to think about your surroundings. They're learning. Black Widow continues to just come through in spades, which is fantastic. Carol still trying to get control of the team. Scott didn't even have a chance this time, which I was kind of wondering if he would interact with Zzzax, like if the energy absorption would work, the concussive energy, but I don't know. Is concussive energy on the electromagnetic spectrum? I don't know. Answer that question in the comments, I guess. But that's it for this session. So thanks so much for watching. And if you have any questions, comments, observations, if you want to point out things I missed, I did miss something in the last video and I put it in the description box. So if there's anything you noticed that I missed, or if there's a rule clarification, or if you want questions about rules, you can ask all that stuff in the comments. Otherwise, I think that it is it. Thank you so much for watching. Excelsior.